You said something interesting about the cervical spine.
Yeah.
So am I understanding it right that that's the thing that's the place where your brain is getting connected to the spinal cord, right? How is that related to midbrain?
Midbrain is little higher than the cervical spine.
Okay.
So midbrain is basically part of the brain stem. So now since you brought the topic of midbrain, brain you can generally divide.
Okay.
Just for our understanding basically into, the one which is the higher here, that is the cerebral hemispheres.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you have cerebellum that is behind here, and then the brain stem, because it's a linear single column, like a stem, that's why it's called a brain stem. And midbrain is a part of the brain stem, the uppermost part of the brain stem. So, and your cervical spine, which is there, starts off, once the midbrain is there, the second part is called the pons.
Okay.
The last part of the brain stem is called the medulla oblongata.
Okay.
And then from medulla below is the cervical cord, spinal cord.
Okay.
That's where your neck is.
So, there was this interesting thing that was happening around, this was primarily concentrated in Kerala, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There was this thing called midbrain activation.
Okay.
And this was a whole racket going on where somebody said that we have some exercises that are going to activate your midbrain and that will make your kid like super smart.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to close their eyes and see what is going on.
So did it happen finally?
Yeah, I mean, I think like most things, it kind of died down.
Yeah.
But when I was reading up about this as to what midbrain actually was, because I got interested.
Okay.
So I was reading about all these things. That's when it mentioned that the midbrain portion has some very significant role to play in our general being. So one part of that was called substantia nigra, if I'm not wrong, and that was what was supposed to produce dopamine.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little more about dopamine? What is its role, and why is it important?
Yeah. So I'll start off with the midbrain thing. So midbrain is definitely, it has all the centers which create awareness. In the sense, there is something called as ascending reticular activating system.
Okay.
Ascending reticular activating system, or in short, it's called ARAS.
Okay.
So that ARAS, the centers, the neurons which create this kind of awareness. Okay. So those neurons, nuclei means a set of a bunch of neurons basically.
Okay.
So they are present predominantly in that area, midbrain.
Okay.
So why this reticular system is important is because this is the neuron which connects all individual neurons of the body. For example, you have a neuron of vision, and you have a neuron which is supplying which is taking care of your sensory symptoms, and there's a neuron which is some other doing your hearing functions.
Yeah.
Now this neuron interconnects those neurons.
Okay. It's like a junction basically.
Yeah. Not just junction, it interconnects basically. It's not a junction. Basically, it is a little bit of this it takes and gives it this, and then in the sense, a stimulus from vision, it transfers to some other place, to some other area. Okay. So it has these connections to all different sorts of neurons. Okay. It also has connections to the motor neurons also.
Okay.
Which give you motor function.
Like sensory neurons connecting directly to the motor neurons.
It just gives awareness. So, in the sense that this one particular neuron will be aware of the other fellow also, because of this interaction. Okay. So that's what creates awareness.
Okay.
So that's the reason the reticular system is our seat of awareness basically. Like the sense of self, we talk about soul and all that. No? We can probably indirectly say, okay, if your reticular system is not active, probably you are not aware of yourself.
Okay.
So that is what it is. And if they are doing something to enhance that reticular system, fine. But always there's a limit to your enhancement of awareness, right?
Yeah.
So.
And is it safe to say that midbrain is already active? If you're talking, if you're seeing things, it's already active. There's no need to.
As we are talking, as we're interacting, the signals from our vision neurons are also going to reticular system. It's also going to my other neurons. So gives that concept of awareness completely.
Okay.
So,